Crofty's Heavy Gear on VGM Awesome.
Cool. Feeling cool. John D, feeling cool?
Yes, I am feeling quite cool.
Good. It's that time of the show. 9:45, 9:45, live on bradyswickradio.org.uk from the Brookway Activities Centre. VGM Awesome. VGM 39. Crofty. Always, ever the professional.
Always ready and on the ball.
So we just look over to Crofty and he's doing the whole. Who's that guy from Star Trek? I don't know his name. Geordie.
Wait, do you mean the guy with
the guy with the thing on across his eyes?
It's Geordie from Next Generation.
Right, yeah, that guy.
I think. I don't know.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're talking about musical subgenres within games. Video games being a great visual art, like films, TV. You know, the music has to follow suit in conveying an emotion, fitting with the style of the media of which it's going to embody. So, with a twist to that, Crofty, we're talking about.
Well, let's look at like pop music or a music which is considered a lot more mainstream.
Okay.
Which has been influenced from games, and I think the biggest genre of music which has been influenced from games is by far chiptune music. Or 8-bit music, and there's a whole underground movement called. Of a selection of people called 8-bit peoples, made of Amagotchi, Alex Mauer, Commie64,
okay,
and people like this, and they don't get a lot of recognition. They're quite underground, but because of that, there seems to be a lot of nostalgia. Now that we're heading into, well, actually, we are in 2010s,
12,
but we're in this
2000 teens,
the teens, tweenies,
2000 teens,
the teenies.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so a lot of music producers these days, they're at this age now where kind of video games are a big part of their life. They're at their age where, creatively speaking, you know, video games are a big part of their life. So there, Timbaland, I think it's Timbaland, has been rapped numerous times for stealing music from 8-bit musicians and then passing off as his own.
Really?
And that's quite bang out of order in some way. But
when
then
you say
again,
rap, do you mean he's been
like, you know, like you shouldn't be doing that
by the law?
Well, by the fans.
Oh, right.
So no actual artist has come up and said, "Hold on, that's mine. I composed it. I created that, and you've completely stolen it."
Yes, they have.
So they have come up.
Yeah,
there's a
Swedish chiptune composer. Can't remember his name, unfortunately. But
it's not Magnus Parson, by is it? Any chance?
Probably.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I'll find out and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, there's obviously a huge 8-bit thing coming in. So you were talking about how what's that band? Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas. Yeah, I mean I can't remember the name of the album now, but certainly a couple of years ago it was heavily influenced by Bliptune, Chiptune, and even the album art, the sleeve. Their characters, you know, Will.i.am and the other guys and Fergie, they were all in their little Zelda-esque sprites. So there they were.
Well, 8-bit is quite mainstream at the moment. I mean, like, look at Minecraft, for example.
Yeah.
That's probably the best example of where, like, we're going at the moment. It's like the whole kind of like revisit of the 70s in 2000s.
It's really interesting. I mean, again, like any industry,
or fashion.
Or fashion. Yeah. You do see these recycle. It's a trend recycling cycle. You know, everything will come around again.
And every time it gets cycled, there's a twist on it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been happening for years. Years and years and years.
So, I want to talk about Brad Sucks. Now, Brad Sucks...
Okay.
Brad Sucks is a one-man band. He does, like, a lot of, like rock, very, like, not hard rock, but very kind of, like, garage rock. And all his music is inspired by computer games, but they're kind of played with guitars. A lot of his band art is 8-bit. A lot of his cover art is 8-bit stuff, and it's really interesting to see why artists are doing this. And so let's try to go to the future a little bit, and let's try to interpret what artists will be doing in the future and how they would cycle this new fashion.
Okay.
So as 8-bit, so let's call that early 90s, which was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
About that. 20.
Maybe late
correct.
80s as well, would you say? Or
20, 25 years ago.
Okay.
So in 10 years' time, in 2020 we'll be sat here listening to
16-bit stuff.
16-bit stuff. Well, that's kind of chiptuney, kind of. We're kind of already there. So, like, the next step is PlayStation. The PlayStation era with like proper audio soundtracks.
Well, you think that
waveforms.
will see the kind of recycling again?
I think.
Or move
I
on.
think in the next 10 years we're going to see more epic soundscapes in pop music. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, you should start this movement.
Have you listened to Justin Bieber slow down 8,000 times?
No.
It's beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
absolutely mesmerising.
Must be the only guy who thinks Justin Bieber's beautiful.
At any speed.
At any speed, yeah, whether it's fast, slow, whatever. Okay. But I mean, it is certainly an interesting subject. I mean, because video game music, we say it every week on, week out, like, how video game music is not recognised or doesn't get the recognition that it so deserves, and it really, really does deserve this for the pure scope of what is being composed now. And it's almost like, it's almost quite hypocritical in a way that these styles that were made famous in the gaming industry and the music, that embodied all these games, that it's all kind of become into the forefront again. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's. I listened to you let me do a Sex Human Revolution by Michael McCann, and I was completely blown away by that album. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah.
And it kind of was like, why isn't there more games in the mainstream like music? So over Easter I did do some interviews, and I'm putting together a short, like a spot which I'm going to play in the next couple of weeks of these interviews, because I've actually interviewed them.
Great.
And the outcome is that. Most of these people, they didn't know any of this music, but they thought it was incredible, and it just seems like it's just hidden, and it's not very accessible. And if it was, then video game music would be so more embraced by the community, and therefore games would probably be more embraced.
I think so. I think you hit the nail on the head, because I mean, it's one of those things. It's a very niche thing. You can only appreciate it if you know about it, which I know is it's kind of a bit of a grotesque thing to say, but like, you are only going to be able to appreciate this music if you know where it is, where it can be found. I mean, certainly you go to any record store, they're going to have an ambient section. You have your classical sections, rock, metal, pop, all this kind of stuff. You have easy listening. I've got so many soundtracks. I'm not going to be a fan of it, but Halo Wars, I've got the Halo Wars soundtrack, which is really ambient, and it's not my favourite soundtrack, but it's a good example of it. But it's ambient, it's really easy listening, and in the summertime you get like Ibiza 2013 easy listening for your summer and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, video games have been doing that for years.
Okay, so if you go to a shop, okay, and that Halo Wars album was on sale, would it be in a special video game music section, or would it be in the easy listening section?
It would be with all the video games, because I mean, certainly in the UK you don't have a video game section. They've started doing it. There would be like a few, like for example, I think I saw Fable 2 and something else was just stacked next to some games, completely right. It looked out of place.
So they're obviously marketing it towards the gamers, not to the mainstream audience.
Exactly.
I think nowadays gaming kind of soundtracks are placed into like a special interest kind of
very
section.
much so. Very that's good, John. It is very much is a special interest thing. You're only going to go and buy it if you want it.
Which I think is absolutely ridiculous, because there's no difference between music composed by Michael McCann than to Vangelis.
Exactly. It's music that's being composed for a purpose and with a vision and a visual in mind. What's the difference? It doesn't matter whether you're playing it or watching it. The concept and the way it's conceived is exactly the same.
I mean, I would like to see bands like JMS like fit in the.
Sorry, did you say that a few weeks ago as well? JMS. You start saying DHS next. JLS. JLS.
JLS.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so DHS, that boy band, right? Yeah.
Anyway, the band that I'm talking about, bands like that, I would prefer to see them in like a niche market themselves, where I wouldn't have to go and browse through their albums to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, true stuff. Okay, so we reckon. So in conclusion, yeah. Well, you said it. But you think where things are starting to be recycled now, like 8-bit chiptune, bliptune.
Yeah.
The next generation of that will then eventually be brought back again.
In conclusion, I think the next generation of music incorporated from video games into the pop mainstream is going to be epic soundscapes.
Epic soundscapes.
And that's got my 10-year guarantee.
We heard it here first on VGM Awesome 39. If it doesn't come true, then don't know, keep an audio receipt and you will have Chris's face on a plate. Anyway, well, thanks for that, Crofty. We've only got time enough now for one more track, and we're going to end with an absolute steaming, piping hot Nobuo Uematsu track for Final Fantasy VII. Have to, because it's just such a great theme, which encompasses probably about 4 genres of music. But yeah, before we do that, very quickly, again, I want to touch on the short film with FFTB. Just explain, gentlemen, what is FFTB, what do you do, and what is your whole
Your mission,
ethos?
your mission statement, if you like.
Yeah, FFTB stands for Fortune Favours the Brave, and it's basically a community of filmmakers who want to collaborate and get together and make creative films, experimental film, and just push the bird out there and see what we can do. At the moment, I think we've got a core team of about 11 crew, and they all range from different skills, and we're like, if you want to get involved with any project, or if you want a hand, or if you just want to get involved, just get in touch with VGM Awesome, or get in touch with me, and just let us know, because we just want to work with anybody. It's all about collaboration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's many people, and it's a lot of people don't know how to get into the film industry. So this might be a completely independent way of getting in. So it's it's really interesting and really exciting at the moment to be able to offer people and like work with different kinds of people.
Absolutely.
And something that we really hate in the film industry, easy, is elitism, and how kind of like people have to have set roles and kind of like have a hierarchy. And we're just trying to move away and have like bring the fun back into making films.
Rethink it. I mean, it is a fun industry.
And
but at the same time, still trying to create a highly quality product at the end of it that you can be proud of.
which, for example, again, going back to stop motion, which I think I've only done a handful of projects with you guys, but every one of them has just been snowballing to this, and I'm so looking forward to the next one. You know, I mean, and going back to what you were saying about, you know, bringing back the fun in filmmaking. When you're working so heavily and so committedly, if that's a word, for long hours, you know, with people that you know a little bit, the fun is what kind of holds it all together. You have to get on with these people.
Yeah.
And when you're doing something creative as well, I've worked with people in the past where, like, if you don't agree on it, being collaborative can be one of the most awkward experiences of your life. But the chemistry and gel between everybody in FFTV is amazing.
Over the weekend, Keith Kopp saved the whole entire shoot, I reckon, by keeping the morale of the crew together with his sense of humour and his just, you know, fun-loving ways.
For an example, on the Saturday we filmed basically we wrapped filming at 5:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And everyone was getting tired, but Keith Kopp, an absolute
soldier,
concrete jungle of a man. I don't know what I mean.
I hope you heard that.
Yeah,
he's quite urban, is he?
He's an absolute behemoth of a team member, just keeping people happy, laughing, joking. But then the second the camera rolls, it's bang. We're still making an amazing film.
And that's what it should be. You know, we're trying to make a brilliant output, but it shouldn't be a chore. It should be fun
and shouldn't be stressing.
Exactly so. Well, gents, it's been absolutely amazing as ever. I'm quite amazed we've lasted the 2 hours without, you know, falling asleep at the mic, at the desk, with heads nodding and whatnot. But we've made it.
We'll be back next week, I expect.
Indeed, we will be back next Monday with more of the same. I think soon, actually, John, we touched on, we're going to dedicate a show to 1001 Video Games Must Play Before We Die. Try and get some more under the bag, in the bag.
Because otherwise we're never going to finish this book, and I don't think we are in some ways, but, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, if you listen to VGM Awesome, VGM 39 Brexit Radio, live in the Broadway Activity Centre, I've been Mad Double V. Cheers, Jono, Chris, and Ross. This is now One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII, Nobuo Uematsu. What a legend! Encompassing classical elements, contemporary orchestral elements, rock, metal, gothic. It's just everything. It's pure beauty. Enjoy. This is the version from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. One-Winged Angel, Sephiroth, the ultimate antagonist, Cloud, good friend of mine. See you next Monday. Enjoy!